r/ask Reddit. What's your if I get caught there's no explanation story? I was in a camp shower, stalls not open, when an unaccompanied kid about 4 years old started crawling into my stall from below the door. I was telling him to scram, but he wasn't listening. It was only us in the showers at the time. I had no idea where his folks were. I scrambled to put my clothes on, still soaking wet, when it was clear this kid was bent on getting into my stall. I rinsed the soap out of my hair with my clothes on and then took the kid by the hand to find his parents. Had I been caught in the shower with a stranger's child, I'd have had a very difficult time explaining it. I found his mum, frantic, about 5 minutes later. I guess the kid was looking for his dad who he heard was in the showers and he thought I was him. That's terrifying. It really is. Especially considering that if some story like that went public, everyone would attack him without listening to his side of the story or presuming innocence until guilt is proven. God forbid it goes viral and tabloids public terrible explanations of it. This is completely terrifying to me. In our society you can be a victim of the internet mob without any sort of fairness involved in that process. I need another adult. Reminds me of that video that went viral a few years ago of the kid ducking under a guy's stall while the guy is in the middle of pooping because he needs help washing his hands and his mum sent him into the bathroom alone. Flew on a major airline with a razor blade hidden in my phone case. I was meaning to buy one to peel the window tint off of my car, but I found one at work in a drawer. I didn't have any way to safely carry it, so I put it in my phone case behind my phone. I about died when I was on the beach and realized what I had done. Threw it in the trash right away before I forgot again. I did the same thing with a credit card knife. For reference, it's literally a thin knife blade set into plastic the size of a credit card that folds into a knife handle around the blade. I thought it was novelty fun and maybe someday helpful when I bought it and put it in wallet. Anyway, I travel via plane and 2 days later I'm sitting in my hotel room when it dawns on me that I took a blade through airport security. Tsar ain't it? The joke of it is, there's an industrial strength fire axe suitable for cutting through emergencies on every single plane. This actually became something of a point of contention for pilots in the weeks after 9/11. For a while, security would confiscate the razor blades from pilots, as in, the ones they used to shave with, which pissed a lot of them off. I'm not talking about straight razors or anything like that, mind. I'm talking the little circa 3cm blades you get in a disposable razor. Security was actually confiscating those as potential weapons, presumably out of a concern the pilots would threaten to nick someone's chin with them. So here's where it gets fun. This story, by the way, is courtesy of a family member who used to work for the airline I'm about to describe. One day, a pilot for a major airline decided to prove a point. After he'd flown his last flight for the evening, he got out, grabbed his luggage, and brought the fire axe for the plane with him as he left for his hotel, knowing he would be flying that exact same plane the next morning. So next morning comes around. He's about to go through security. Yes, pilots also have to do security screens. Lo and behold, he puts this fire axe on the table for security screening. Immediately, the security staff tell him that he absolutely cannot bring an axe on the plane, bearing in mind that they weren't even allowed to bring shaving razors on board at this point. The pilot then smiles smugly and explains that they can't refuse to let him bring the axe, because it's part of the plane's mandatory safety equipment, and if the plane doesn't have it on board, it cannot legally fly. Needless to say, this caused an absolutely enormous blow up when it got back to management. There was a company-wide email the next day ordering pilots not to take the fire axes off the planes. Security stopped confiscating razor blades shortly thereafter. When visiting a friend, went straight in, to the wrong house. In their building people keep their doors open. Make myself a cup of tea, put on the TV, and wait on the sofa for them to return. Someone else comes in, says nothing, looks at me weird, and goes to the bedroom. Call up my friend to ask when they are coming. They are at their house. They come and pick me up. A couple years ago I jumped in a stranger's car while they were in it. I was waiting on a lift from a friend and I see their car pull up. I just go jump in the passenger and say something like it's about time aole and then silence. Look over and I do not know this man. Total stranger just driving a similar car. Not even the same make, model. I apologize profusely and get out. Thankfully they were amused and not angry. One time I saw my mother pull up at the grocery store as I was going in. I recognized her from her red car, red puffer, and henna red hair. I thought it would be funny to sneak up and tap on the window to scare her. I did scare her, but she was not my mother. She just had the same hair, same coat, same make and model of car, and shopped at the same store. I did however manage to explain this to her and she found it funny. I pulled into a gas station once and this older gentleman was standing there looking around as I was parking. And as soon as I parked he just got in my car and mumbled about how I was supposed to be there like 20 minutes ago. I just froze staring at him. My baby starts fussing in the backseat and that's when he realized that maybe I wasn't his Uber. The poor guy was mortified. To be fair, he was waiting on a very similar car. I chatted with him while I pumped my gas. He apparently was in a hit and run and he and his wife waiting inside the gas station were waiting on their Uber to get a ride home. And he was still a bit shaken up. I ended up offering them a ride, against my better judgment, because that's just stupid dangerous. But I always keep bear spray in my car, but his actual Uber showed up right about then. Honestly, if someone came into my house, made themselves comfortable, and had a tea, coffee, beer, yeah, I'd just move on too. If they meant me malice they probably would have already done diddly did it. Probably assumed it was a friend of a roommate or something. I was with friends at a local park late at night, like 2 or 3 am. Park's close at 11 and a cop doing his drive-through check of the park found me and my 2 friends sitting in a picnic area and we definitely were not supposed to be there. We had all gotten stoned and hatched a ridiculous plan to mess with our other friend. The cop approached us while we were laughing hysterically with a huge bag of potatoes in front of us while we drew Excelly charged images on the potatoes with Sharpie markers. It was rough trying to explain to him that the Peanuts potatoes were supposed to be a practical joke. We were going to leave them all over our friend's lawn. Somehow he was fine with that and told us to take our potatoes and go somewhere other than the park. I still remember that night fondly. Dong Tater. That's hilarious. I hope you still did the prank. Hey yous kids. Take your potatoes and get the hell out of here. I'm walking around the block and when I get back I better not seize yous. When I was 13 I used to go out to the woods behind the neighborhood, get naked, and light gasoline on fire. What? There's no explanation. I'm so horny and angry all the time, and I have no outlet for it. So, John Mulaney. Eggs. Sigmund Freud has entered the chat. My boss left his office door open one time. I was working late that night and went into his laptop to see if he had anything juicy. He did. He had a document with a title something like "What is wrong with 99 Thusername?" It included a handy list of my character flaws. If I had gotten caught, there would have been absolutely no excuse. Always sneaking into my office and looking at my computer. Put that on the list to establish dominance. Create a new document titled, "What is wrong with 99 Thusername's boss? Doesn't lock his computer." When I was a teenager my buddy lived in one of those gated communities with security patrol cars at night. We loved sneaking around at night and hiding from them. Ding dong ditching and it like that. Once we found one of those cars empty, so my ballsy friend went and opened it and stole a radar gun. And there really wasn't a reason, just for the laws. I think he still has it. We didn't get caught though. Imagine you're freaking around with it and it turns on and says, "Subject is approaching at 10 miles per hour, 12 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour. And then you get tackled by a cop. Backstory. I once had such bad depression functioning as a person became hard. My mum stopped by, no knock like several of my class people then. Brought groceries so I could try and eat better. Surprise, I don't want to cook. So I was hungry for a while. But she got me mangoes. Now I love mangoes, but only at the correct ripeness, so it's hit or miss. I sat down on the couch with one so sure it would be bad. It was so good. It was the first thing I had been happy, surprised about in what seemed like forever. No way I could have explained. I ripped into that mango in the middle of my living room. And I mean ripped. I'm talking juice going all down my hands, down my face, huge bites. I don't know why, but at one point I crouched down and my cat was just sitting under me licking my hands as I ate. I must have looked savage and I am so happy no one walked in to check on me right then. That was a super low point and it woke me up a bit. But maybe that was just the mango. I freaking love mangoes. There is nothing in this world like a mango at peak perfect ripeness. I totally understand. Best story on here, mango. Congrats, you've made it to the end. You're a beast. Like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit content. It's free, so why not just do it?